So in essence, there's no secret to Obama or anyone else in the intelligence community or the military that this effort, whether it's a fake effort or not, they know the story. They know the story of what you're doing and why you're supposedly doing it and what this source is saying. And the fact that there are 6 people and the fact that they made a selection and they had these meetings and so on and so forth. So Obama as a president, I know it, so he's going to know it, right?
Unless I'm there at a briefing where Obama gets briefed on this, I don't know for certain. I can just simply say, well,
it's in the public domain, though. It's in the public domain, right?
So it's in the public domain. If we can say this, if Obama's interested, it's there for him.
Absolutely. So if I had somebody reporting to me and I was the president, and he would come to me and say, "Hey, by the way, Obama, this is going on. That they've got this going on, and this, and all the details would be in a briefing." And he would have been briefed on it a long time ago, probably the minute you hit the airwaves. In fact, it's possible. I mean, and this is very interesting because we haven't really gone here yet. But if the Army or the Navy, the Navy and the Air Force are involved in this effort, and they're part of the overt, not the secret American government, but the overt, every man's American government that they think is out there. They're spearheading this effort. Isn't that true?
Well, let me go back. I want to go back. I want to be very clear on this. Let's cut the middleman out about the briefing of the president. Efforts are being made by those who are vetted and who have clearances to speak to the president.
About what they're doing.
Not about what, in so many words, yes. What that particular program has entailed with these people, and there may be more than one program, and guys, yes, there is. There's many programs. But efforts have been and are being made.
I also want to say that the inter-services group we're referring to is not the Department of Navy initiative. It's not the Army initiative. It is members that are part of the Department of Navy and Department of Army and all that. But it's not an overt initiative. It's a working group initiative.
In many respects, it's covert from the Navy itself. I call it the white world. The black world is trying, the pro-disclosure people are trying to get out and move disclosure forward.
Okay, but this effort is, politically within the Navy, let's say. Who knows about it? In other words, do the top Navy brass know that we're here talking on the phone? I mean, I'm assuming they know that you guys are out there saying that a division of their Navy is involved in this effort. Isn't that right?
Okay, let's get into the structure here.
This is politics, politics of the military. But I just wanted you to also address, are you dealing with what, in your mind, is what we would term the white hats versus the black hats, in essence, Majestic, allowing this to happen because they want disclosure?
Perfect segue. Now, here's where we're gonna piss off the UFO community. This is based off our source. We had a long conversation about this. All right, the white hats. We're dealing with pro-disclosure working groups. If we want to call those the guys the white hats, yes, they want to get it on the table. They've had enough of the cover-up. There's been too many bodies, too many ruined careers. This is a quote by our source. Too many ruined careers, too many bodies, too many destroyed lives. Enough is enough. They're tired of it. Okay. Now, let's get into the structure of what we mean politically. With, let's just say, the working group, we call it the white hats, okay? If we were to draw 3 circles, concentric circles within each other, we draw one in the middle. That's 1.5 inches, okay, in circumference. And we call that the PTVs, the powers that be. Just bear with me, Carrie and Bill. We're going to try to define this, okay? Now, on the fringe of that, we're going to draw what we think is a lace arc or a corona, kind of like the sun gives off a corona. Can you picture what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Now we're going to draw another circle about 1 inch out from it, okay, around that inner circle, and we're going to call that Tier 2. That's also called us or me, okay, us being The working groups, me being our source, okay? Now, around that, the outer circle is going to be tier 3. We call that government, okay? Now, that government are the Thatchers, the Cheneys. Help me out, Shawn, if you think I'm going. Yeah, the Thatchers, Cheneys, and the people in the multinational corporations that revolve between government and the corporations within administration as what Paul Hellyer calls the permanent government, okay? They are the mouthpieces. They are the people in the forefront of the corporations. They are not the power. It's very important to understand that. Okay. Now, where does the PTBs get their funding? They get that from government and other means. They get that from Thatcher and Cheney. Those are the government contracts. That's the money. That goes to the PTBs, and in turn, the powers that be, and I'll get back to the powers that be, what they are, that money in turn goes to Tier 2. That Tier 2 is us and me. Those are the black programs. Okay, we'll say the white hats, okay? The programs and programs within programs or agendas within whatever service, however many programs are. That's where the money comes from, the PTB. So government to PTBs, okay, and that money goes to Tier 2. Now, the fringe of the PTBs, the corona, we call that, our source calls that the interferons. And I'll give it a derogatory name, which the working group calls it. They call them, and excuse my language, they call them the interface fuckers. That's what they call them. That money they are the go-between between the PTBs and Tier 2, us and me. In other words, they are the front people to the PTBs. Okay? Now, who...
Oh, no.
I'm still here.
Okay, I have to hang up and call again.
Okay.
Hello.
Hi there.
Hi.
All right, guys.
Okay, so where were we at?
You're
Okay.
talking about these interferons level.
They are the ones, they're the liaison between the PTBs and the black world.
Which means that the black world will never directly interface with the PTBs.
Okay.
They'll have to interface with the interferons. Got it?
Let me just give you the format, guys, and we'll go back. We'll do it the best we can, okay? Who are us and me in the third tier? Okay, that is your CIA, your NSA, your DEIA, your Office of Science and Technology, your Army, Air Force, Navy, Marines, okay? That is Tier 2. That is the compartmentalized. That is the compartmentalized people with the SAP programs that would get that allocation of the money from the interferons, which are the spokespeople or the handlers for the PT or the RB or the
Yes, we
intermediaries for the PTBs. Now,
But are you saying that the us and me have a secret division, though? Isn't that right?
us and me is the black world.
Okay.
And it consists of...
Okay, and also, just so I can just give you us and me, also their counterparts are foreign too. It's very important to understand. That's Germany, Russia, France, UK. That's the foreign and domestic counterparts that we talked about in the original UN meeting. Okay, they're the same people. They're part of Tier 2. They're joint in many respects. Okay, now this is incredibly important. Let's talk who are the PTBs. All right, take the top 100 companies. Okay, take their CEOs, their CFOs in the world. The top 100 companies, CEOs
Connected to the
Right.
to the military-industrial complex.
I'm going to get to that, Shawn. Okay, take the top 100 companies, CEO, CFO in the world. Okay, they're the PTBs. Now take all the 3 stars and above generals and admirals of the world. Now you take all those people and you take 36 of those. That number is very important. You take 36 of those PTBs from the CEO, CFO, and 3 stars and above, generals and admirals. You take 36. Those are the top individuals.
Okay.
Okay. Now, all right. So that money comes from government. The money goes to the PTBs. The PTBs, that's the interferons, okay, will distribute it to us and them. Us and them go to the interference for the money. Now, the corporations have to have military involvement. That's the key to understanding who the powers that be are. They have to have military involvement. That's where you know where the power resides. That's where you can disseminate strictly from one corporation who has no involvement with the military versus one that has a very heavy involvement with the military. The one that has the heaviest involvement and has a large budget or program with government contracts allocated to it will help narrow the field some. Now, one thing our source did say, and this is an interesting quote, he said, money is power, but power is not going to give the money up unless it gets it back. That is the key to understanding who and what these people are. We won't know so much their names, but you can probably narrow it down to what corporations worldwide, it's just not national, it's multinational, who are the powers that be, who allocate the money, who have control over these programs. Any questions, guys?
This doesn't actually go back to answer my question, though, that I was talking about, which is basically we were talking about the disclosure that we're aware of, and you were talking about a year, 2017, that somehow you've gotten.
Right.
And you understand there's a disconnect between what we're hearing and what you're hearing. And what I'm sort of trying to find out, there's not just one disconnect, but there's a number of them. And so what I'm also trying to find out is, I mean, it's so complex, but basically, if I get back to childhood's end, I hate to tell you, but it almost sounds as though they went to Arthur C. Clarke, who was a very much of an insider, by the way, and they went to his book, and they decided they would follow that as the primer for disclosure, because actually in the book, the controllers who come down in their ships are not seen for, I think it's even years. In other words, they're there, they know they're there, they are called the controllers, but you don't see them, you can't see them. And finally, like one of the characters, kind of looks behind the curtain and finds out
Right.
what they really look like. Now, it's, I have to say that you believe your source, and your source, it actually sounds like a legitimate effort. But if you're out here, for example, and you're talking in the public domain about this information, then that means that you can draw all those tiers you want, but all of those tiers have access, just like Bill and I do now, and have had, to this information that you're talking about, to this working group that you're talking about. Its movements are known. And so what I'm trying to say is, what is really going on here, such that you've got this effort, it's happening simultaneous with what we're getting, which is a lot more, to be quite honest, sophisticated than what you're getting. What we're getting is that the powers that be have superluminal travel, that they're going outside the solar system, that they have bases on the moon and Mars, that they're using time travel, that, that they're dealing with ET races on a regular basis, and they're actually at war with one or two of them, and that there is an internal war here in the world between the powers that be, such that some are actually run by the reptilians and not by ones that look like T-Rex, but reptilians that look a bit more humanoid, et cetera, et cetera. So what I'm trying to say here is that, sure, this could be one effort, and what we're getting could be another effort.
Look at. We're talking about one program under one operation. That's it. We don't reject any of your information.
Okay.
We are only conveying what our experience is. We have never asserted that this is the sole representation of the phenomenon.
It's everything in the kitchen sink, Bill and Carrie. They're ultra-terrestrial, whatever that. Ultra-terrestrials, interdimensional, tall whites, humanoid, the Varhenius type of ET. There is so much. This is the problem that not just the UFO community, but even the powers that be in the working groups is that, I got to tell you guys, I don't think they got a handle on this either. I really believe they don't have a complete handle.
It's compartmentalization. We're only talking about one program under one operation. Okay. That's all we've ever. This is our story.
Yeah.
There is an initiative, the 2017 initiative. Okay, that was determined. I don't know how it was determined. I don't know whether it was an alien decision or whether it was an agreed upon decision. We don't know. All I'm saying is the 2017 date was thrown out there. as a contact date. Is that in stone? We don't know.
Okay.
We have no idea. But this is just one program under an operation.
Okay.
I don't reject any of your information.
Okay. No, that's fine. So